evening, everyone, and if you'd like to join me, rise, please. We're going to have a moment of silence, a word of prayer, and then pledge. We're having a moment of silence. As we know, we lost Commissioner Lonnie Allen, and he was a longtime commissioner, been on this commission since 2002. Certainly will be missed. Here at our last meeting, so and a vital part of this commission, help this community in this county over his years of service. So we want to have a moment of silence and remember Commissioner Allen, and also let's have a moment of silent prayer for his family in this time of grief. They would be comforted. So if you join me in a moment of silence, and then I'll lead us in the word of prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, power, and glory forever. Amen. Mr. Cole, would you lead us in the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I will now call the meeting to order, and first order of business is our roll call. Commissioner, would you please mark present? Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the roll?
21 present, 4 absent.
Okay, we have a quorum. And having said that at the beginning, talking about Commissioner Allen, we noticed we have a county flag draping his empty seat, just to honor him tonight during this commission meeting. So we want to bring your attention to that. Item number 3 on our agenda is consideration of proclamation 2026-0601 honoring Darrell Randall. Madam Clerk, if you please would bring that proclamation to the floor for action to be taken. We have a motion and a second to approve, and I will read this proclamation, and then we'll have a vote, and then we have a presentation. The proclamation honoring Coach Darrell Randalls, whereas Darrell Randalls has dedicated more than 2 decades to coaching and mentoring student athletes in Sevier County, making a lasting impact on the lives of countless young people. And whereas Coach Randalls began his coaching career at Seymour High School in 2003, where he served for 10 years as an assistant coach under Coach Scott Norman, contributing to the strength and success of the program. And whereas in 2013 he became the head coach at Northview High School, where he established the baseball program during the school's inaugural year, overcoming the challenge of having no home field by utilizing local parks and playing an entire season on the road. Whereas through his leadership and dedication, the Northview baseball program developed into a competitive and respected program that highlighted the district championships in 2017-2024, as well as continued facility improvements, including a new off-campus field and indoor facility in 2022. Whereas following a challenging 2025 season, Coach Randles and his team demonstrated resilience and determination by achieving the most wins in program history in 2026. Whereas a lifelong member of the Northview community, Coach Randles has remained committed to his hometown, investing in the hearts and minds of students and striving to make a lasting difference through education and athletics. Now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Larry Waters, Mayor of Sevier County, and the members of the Sevier County Commission do hereby honor and recognize Coach Darrell Randles for his outstanding service, leadership, and dedication to the students and athletic programs of Sevier County. Proclaimed this 22nd day of June 2026, it is further ordered that the 1896 bill atop the historic Sevier County Courthouse shall ring a celebratory ring at 7:30 p.m. on this day to celebrate this accomplishment. You've heard the reading of the proclamation. Do you have any commissioner have any comments or questions concerning the proclamation, or is there any discussion?
I'd like to say thank you, Darrell. That's a lot of commitment right there. Thank you.
Any further comments or discussion from the commission? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your vote? Well, the vote is finalized. Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes vote.
Proclamation is hereby adopted. And I get the opportunity to present the proclamation to Darrell. Okay. Picture here. Okay, join me in thanking. Okay. Now we move to the next item of business is item number 4 on our agenda, which is consideration of proclamation 2026-0602, recognizing Sevier County High Boys Lacrosse Team. Madam Clerk, would you please bring proclamation 26-0602 to the floor for action? Okay, do we have a motion and a second? I think we have a motion and a second. Now I'll read this proclamation and then have a discussion and bring it to a vote. Whereas the Sevier County High School Boys Lacrosse Team is in just its second season of existence, achieved a historic milestone by advancing to the TSSAA state playoffs. Whereas Bright Sennett was named All-State, and Zachariah Yoakum, Cade Ackers, Bryce Smith, again, Jake Clark, Kane Newton, Isaac Taylor Stanley, Brady Clark, and Spencer Payne were all named All-Region, and whereas Jackson LaCour made program history by becoming the first Sevier County High School boys lacrosse player to earn a collegiate scholarship, signing with Emory and Henry University to continue his athletic career. There's a listing of each team member and also their assistant coach, Nick Backos, and head coach, Dakota all of them displayed outstanding sportsmanship, teamwork, and dedication throughout the season. Therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Larry Waters, Mayor of Sevier County, and the members of the Sevier County Commission do hereby honor and congratulate the Sevier County High School boys lacrosse team on their historic season and outstanding accomplishments. Proclaim this 22nd day of June 2026 is further ordered that the 1896 bill atop the historic Sevier County Courthouse shall ring a celebratory ring at 7 p.m. on this day to celebrate this accomplishment. Okay, we have been properly motioned and second. Now, do we have any discussion or questions concerning the proclamation? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Okay, Commissioners, before you finalize the vote, would anyone like to change the vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Okay, proclamation has been unanimously adopted. And now I get an opportunity to present this to the boys lacrosse team. Hey, gentlemen. Where do you want me to get? I always do what I'm told. Okay, thank you all. Let me just say,
One more song.
considering how long our agenda is, I about left with them. Okay, our next item of business is consideration of the minutes from the previous meeting. Madam Clerk, if you would bring the minutes from the previous meeting to the floor for action. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Now, do we have any discussion or additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? Okay, hearing no further discussion or additions or corrections, Madam Clerk, please proceed to the vote. Commissioners, cast your vote. Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Minutes have been properly approved. Next item on our agenda is item number 6, consideration of reports from commission committees. Madam Clerk, would you please bring the reports from commission committees to the floor for action? Okay, do we have any, we have a motion and a second to approve. Do we have any discussion or questions concerning the approval of the minutes of the commission committees? We're ready to vote. Now we're ready to vote. Any discussion, additions, or corrections to committees? Hearing none. Madam Clerk, please proceed to the vote, and commissioners, please cast your votes. Okay, would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Okay, the committee reports have been adopted. Now down to item 7, and that is public comment on agenda items, public hearing. We had no one request to speak on any agenda item, so we'll close that portion of the public hearing, and we'll open the floor for a public hearing on rezoning items. If you are here and want to speak on any of the rezoning items that we have before us, you would come to the podium and tell us which rezoning item that you would request to speak on, and then you have 3 minutes to make your comments. And those, so this, we have, as I said, one item we are rolling, one of the rezoning items we are rolling tonight, but the others are amending tax map 8, parcel 8.00, from rural residential to R2 high density. That address is 3655 Douglas Dam Road. Another one is tax map 12, parcel 9.0, and it's Douglas, 3609 Douglas Dam Road from agricultural C1 to rural commercial district. And then we have to amend the zoning resolution by establishing a rezoning on tax map 48, rural residential district C1, rural commercial district, that's 1625 Chapman and 1629 Chapman. And then we have, I think one of those was being rolled, I'm not sure yet, I'll see that. We have 1105 King Branch Road, from agricultural district C1 to rural commercial. And then we have 221 Jones Cove Road from rural commercial district R1 to rural residential district. And those are the ones that we have. Resolution 2606 is being rolled. The 3609 Douglas Dam Road will be rolled until the August meeting at the request of the planning department. So the rest of those are on the agenda, and I'll now open the floor for any one who would like to step to the podium and comment during this public comment period.
Good evening. My name is Daniel Rickliff. I'm a retired Army veteran after 28.5 years of service. I've resided in Gatlinburg since December of 2015. I understand this is a long shot, but I own 7.86 acres on King Branch Road. It's currently zoned agricultural. My request before you is to rezone 0.4 acres of that larger parcel that from agricultural to C1. Why? I see a demand and a need for additional mini storage in that vicinity between Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge. So my intent, if it is approved, is to construct a 200-foot long by 20-foot wide mini storage building that'll be climate controlled. There'll be 20 separate units, there'll be 10 by 20 feet. So how does this benefit the community and the county? One, as you know, there is a higher demand than there is supply of mini storage in that area. And so it gives the local community in that area another option. And secondly, although it's small, it'll be an increase in the tax roll. Subject to your questions, that's all I have. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, sir. Questions from you members of the commission will be taking up this issue. It is item 16. Linda will be taking that up. Item 16, and we'll have comments about our planner and that. Okay. Anyone else would like to make a comment during this public hearing period on any rezoning items before the commission tonight? Okay, then I'll close this portion of public comment on rezoning items, and we're gonna move to the next item on the agenda. That's item number 8, which is a public hearing on adopting the property tax rate, rounding rate, which is exceeding the certified rate. We do not have an accurate certified rate yet because the equalization board is right now in the midst of hearings concerning the appraisals. So we're having to give our best estimate on what the property tax rate is going to be. And after our best estimate, and every year we usually round up, keep from having to go over 4 digits. That's going to be, as you will see later on tonight, our property tax rate will go from $1.48 to 87 cents. So that's what's being proposed tonight, is a reduction in property tax, which I might add would make us the lowest property tax in the state of Tennessee if that is adopted. But anyway, I will open the floor for a public hearing on the adoption of the rate. If anyone has any comments, just please step to the microphone, state your name, and we will hear from you on any comments you have concerning the certified tax rate. Seeing no one here to comment on the adoption of a certified tax rate, which would be a rounding, which would be exceeding what we think is going to be established as a certified rate, I will close this portion of the commission meeting tonight and close all of our public hearings. And we will now move to item number 10, which is consideration of resolution 260601 to confirm the appointment to members of the Sevier County Regional Planning Commission. Madam Clerk, would you please advance this resolution to the floor for action?
Chairman.
We've had a crash.
Go to your top right next. Top right next.
Yeah. I see we've had a crash.
To the top right next.
Everybody back up now? Okay. Technology wonderful. It is when it works, that's right, Madam Clerk. We have a motion and a second to adopt the appointment of members to the Sevier County Regional Planning Commission. This is 2 members whose terms are expiring. Member Ronnie Keener, his term would expire in June 30th, 2030. And member Brian Garner, his term would expire June 30th, 2030 as well. Those are the two members of the planning commission being reappointed. We have a motion and a second. Now, do we have discussion or questions concerning this resolution reappointing these? That is a recommendation from me as well as from the regional planning commission. Any questions or comments? Okay, Madam Clerk, I think you have brought that to the floor, and as I said, we have a motion and a second, no discussion. Let's proceed to the vote, and commissioners, please cast your votes. Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Resolution properly adopted. Item number 10, consideration of resolution 2026-0602 to appoint a member to the Sevier County Board of Zoning Appeals. Madam Clerk, please bring that resolution to the floor for action. Have a motion and a second. Motion and a second. Now, do we have any discussion or questions concerning this? And the two members of the Board of Zoning, or the members of the Board of Zoning Appeals are Rob Haley, whose term will expire in June 30th, 2031, and Matt Moneymaker, whose term would expire June 30th, 2028. Do we have any questions or comments concerning the resolution appointing these two members to the Board of Zoning Appeals? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please proceed to the vote. Commissioners, please cast your vote. Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes, been unanimously adopted. Item number 11, consideration of resolution 2026-0603, appoint members to the Sevier County Public Library System Board of Trustees. Madam Clerk, would you please bring that resolution to the floor for action? It's been properly motioned and seconded, and those members are, and I have that resolution here. Here we go. Lydia Griffin, Tim Picker, Carol McMahon, and Gina Davis. All of those terms expire June 30th, 2029. The members that they were all of these appointments have also been recommended by our steering committee as well. So we have a motion second. Now, do we have any discussion or questions concerning the appointment of these members of the Sevier County Public Library Board? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, please proceed to the vote. Commissioners, please cast your vote. Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Resolution's been properly adopted. Now we're on to item number 12. Consideration of resolution 2026-0604 to confirm the appointment of members to the Sevier County Building and Fire Board of Appeals. Madam Clerk, please bring resolution 2026-0604 to the floor for action. We have a motion and a second for these members, and I'll tell you those members momentarily. Here we are. Michael Whaley, whose term would expire June 30th, 2030, and Jeff Rowland, whose term would also expire June 30th, 2030. Those are the two members that have been recommended. Do we have any discussion or questions concerning the resolution? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, please cast your votes. Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes, resolution been properly adopted. We are now on item number 13. Consideration of resolution 2026-0605, which is amending the zoning resolution for Sevier County by establishing rezoning tax map 8, parcel 8.00 from R1 Rural Residential District to R2 High Density District, address 3655 Douglas Dam Road, requested by Mr. James Guy. Sevier County Planning Commission recommendation is for. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2026-0605 to the floor for action to be taken? We have a motion and a second concerning this resolution. We have a motion, do we have a second? We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Now, we'll open the floor for questions or comments, but first I'll recognize our planner, Mr. James Temple, to comment on this rezoning request.
This is a little bit of an unusual request because of the size it is. Several years ago, Mr. Guy purchased this property, and it was a long time home that's been there in Kodak since I was younger. They built a second home on the lot, which is allowed because they actually have a sewer tap there because the sewer line the city put in years and years ago came through the back of their properties on an easement, and every lot got a tap. They dissolved the lot line between this area some while ago, and now they decided they want to sell the second home or sell them separately to make the lot sizes work. We need to rezone it to R2 to give them the lower, smaller lot size. It meets all the requirements. They're just wanting to sell one of the houses separately and keep the other one themselves.
Mr. Temple,
Yes.
in the event that this property is sold and then a Catholic farm is detained behind it, that would give them reason to put an apartment complex there, right, to do nothing about it? Because they would have access to sewer at that point, to the property.
I don't think the sewer doesn't touch the Catholic property there. It would have to they'd have to get it up off of Kodak Road.
But they could go through this property to get to.
Only if they had an easement. The sewer line is actually inside the property. It's not on the edge. And of course, the moratorium is still in place, as far as we know. Don't know when that's going to go away. Obviously, there's other reasons we want to look at it, something R2, the size, and what the road would take, Kodak Road. This is not adding any new buildings. It's just allowing them to sell 2 existing houses separately.
I'm gonna ask this commission to turn this one down. I think we're gonna open a can of worms, that's what we wanna do if we've done this R2. I think until we get our rules and regulations established on our new zoning, wherever we're gonna take it, we need to hold anything R2 right now. Mike, Ken's
Have you run into this before?
If this is the only time we've had it where they needed to rezone it just to be able to sell it, yes, sir.
I think
The unique thing is there's already sewer there and the houses were built. But this is unique, I will say that. I don't disagree with that.
And one for mobile home, I mean,
But it's a single family dwelling to me. It doesn't matter whether it's a mobile home or a stick-built house.
but to keep it R1, I mean, they can move it off to another lot.
That would be true, yes.
I think our planning commission needs to review these I didn't even know it, heard today that you put two houses on one lot. I know we've been in problem before. You cannot share a driveway, right?
The driveway can serve two houses,
Two houses,
but
okay,
not more than that.
not more than two.
And the whole reason behind, this is not this issue, but the reason behind two houses on a lot was back in the day, when we first got subdivision regs, to allow the possibility of someone to have behind their existing house, put a small structure to, a family member that needed to move out, or an elderly person needed to be near family, mother-in-law house, grandmother house, sick mom house, whatever. That's why it was in there. That's something we can certainly, if the commission has an issue with that, we can certainly, planning commission can certainly review it.
Like you said back in the day,
Well, I'm not talking about, I was 20 years ago, but still.
I know, but, I just see this being a problem in the future for us. We don't look into it.
Mr. Tip, could you not just grant a variance instead of rezoning this? Grant a variance where they can split this lot?
The only reason I can grant a variance to the minimum lot size is if the environmental health department grants it, and since they don't have jurisdiction, they can't grant it.
I got a question. My question, when they originally bought this property, did they come to the planning about adding this other house, or did they just put it on there and then?
No, they got a permit, they got a permit for it, it met all the requirements.
It met all the requirements?
Yes.
And that, but they knew up front that the only way to get this separated out was to have it rezoned first. My question is why would they not go ahead and have it rezoned first to make sure they could? But they did it out of their self and then come and ask for forgiveness later. That's what it sounds like.
I don't have an answer to that, I don't know what they were thinking.
That's what,
I get the feeling from talking to them, they didn't ever intend.
Did the planning commission inform them that, hey, if you wanted to sell these off, you would have to have these on first? Or did you just say, oh, it's okay to do it and go on?
That would have been our staff, I don't think we would have notified them if they could.
I understand.
I don't think the intent was ever set.
One was okay, I understand what you're saying is, but I feel like they maybe ought to somehow be informed that, hey, if you do this, this is what it is. You can't come back later and say, okay, now we're gonna go to zone 2, R2, just because I want to sell one house and want to sell the other. To me, they ought to be upfront to know before they do this, and then ask for forgiveness later to go ahead and do it.
Mr. Tip, why, if you put it on the bottom shelf for me.
Yeah.
Why a variance can't be granted, I understand this doesn't fall under our environmental health because of sewer. But if we can split, if we go to our environmental health and do a variance when there needs to be a sewer drain field, a septic drain field, why can we not grant a variance when there's sewer on the property? That seems to be the most reasonable thing to do, is to grant these folks a variance, split a lot.
I will certainly research that. There is a provision in our subdivision regs that specifically says if and it probably at the time it was written, it probably didn't consider there was such thing as sewer, most of the county. If the Director of Environmental Health, he can recommend a larger lot size than the minimum in our books, or a smaller one that's in our books, if the drain field will work. I'll have to do a little research to see if that would be grounds to grant a variance to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Is that what you said, Brian, to get a variance and leave it R1?
Yeah, leave it R1, give it a variance so that they.
I agree.
I can research that.
Do we need to table it next month to check on that?
Well, if you all don't want to rezone at all, just go ahead and deny it, and then we can look at the variance option.
Okay, there's a further discussion. Sounds like where we're at is, if you want to check into this other option or whatever, you would vote no on this motion. The motion is to approve rezoning as requested from R1 rural residential to high density at 3655 Douglas Dam Road. The planning commission recommended for. That's a motion, but if you aren't for that motion, the appropriate thing to do is to vote against this, and that would go back to the planning commission and our planner to figure out what, and the folks that own the property to figure out what to do next. Do we have further discussion or question? We have further questions from members of the commission. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, then would you please move resolution 2026-0605 to the floor for action? Let's proceed to vote. Commissioners, cast your votes. Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
0 yes, 21 no.
Okay. Resolution fails. We will now move on to the next item, which is item number 14, and we're rolling that item. Without objection, we'll roll that to the August meeting, and we're going to have one in July. Without objection, we're rolling resolution 2026-0606 to August meeting, which brings us down to item 15, which is consideration of resolution 2026-0607, amending the zoning resolution for Spear County by establishing rezoning tax map 48, parcel 20.00 from R1 rural residential to C1 rural commercial, 1625 and 1629 Chapman Highway, requested by James LaFollette, and the Spear County Regional Planning Commission is for. We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chairman, we got the wrong resolution for the we got our 6 still.
It should be
It's changed.
resolution 2026-0607.
It's changed.
Now, we have a motion and a second to approve this. Do we have discussion or questions? And Mr. Planner, do you have any comments on this issue?
Not unless there's a question.
Any comments from the commission? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, please proceed to the vote. Commissioners, please cast your vote. Before the clerk finalizes the vote, would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
20 yes votes, 1 abstain.
Resolution been properly adopted. Item number 16, consideration of resolution 2026-0608, amending the zoning resolution of Spear County, Tennessee by establishing rezoning part of tax map 107, parcel 19.03 from A1 agricultural to C1 rural commercial district, address 1105 King Branch Road, requested by Mr. Daniel Rickla, and the Spear County Regional Planning Commission made a recommendation against. So, Madam Clerk, please bring resolution 2026-0608 to the floor for any action to be taken. The action to be taken would either be to approve the resolution, or you could make a motion to concur with the request of the planning commission, which is against. Either one. So I will now open the floor for discussion, and Mr. Temple.
This is a proposal by Dale. He did speak before you during the public hearing side. I understand what his which is, but it's a very small piece of land on King Branch Road. It's a very, that's very far out into the county. It's a very small, half an acre of land. There is a stream between the road and the property he's wanting to do this on. And right behind, just as soon as you get to the back, the land goes straight up. And I think it'd be a challenge to build anything on it. And of course, as we know, while he may be considering storage units, there could be anything allowed in C1 could be put there once it's rezoned. And staff and planning commission just do not believe that's an appropriate rezoning request. So the recommendation is to against the rezoning.
So we can either do this two ways. You can either have a motion to deny, or you can vote no on the resolution. And I think the resolution states approval.
No, against.
The resolution states against.
Yes.
Okay.
So we would need to vote yes to go.
No, you need to vote no.
To go with you all.
You vote no, then it just is denied. Just like the other one we did. Yes, yes, sir.
Besides the topography, why does this not construct?
Anytime you rezone something like this, that far out from, there's no commercial businesses anywhere near this. It would be considered spot zoning in the state of Tennessee, so we recommend against it. Anything under about 10 acres, you don't need to consider unless there's like uses around it.
So this meets the definition of spot zoning?
I believe it does, yes, sir. That's my opinion. Because there's no commercial zoning anywhere near this.
Let me read to you the resolution that we have concerning this issue. And we've got a motion and second to approve the resolution, but this is a resolution by the Sevier County Board of Commissioners to amend the zoning resolution for Sevier County, Tennessee by rezoning part of tax map 107, parcel 1903 from A1 to C1. Whereas Sevier County Board may amend the resolution for Sevier County as per DCA 137105. Whereas the Sevier County Planning Commission has forwarded its recommendation to the Commission regarding the amendment. Whereas the Board of Commissioners feel that rezoning this property is in the best interest of the county, now therefore be it resolved. The Board of Commissioners, the zoning map is hereby amended by rezoning tax map 107, parcel 1903 from A1 to C1, the said territory being clearly defined on the attached map. The resolution is effective once passed. So this resolution approves that zoning.
If you vote yes, it's approved. If you vote no, it is not.
In order to concur with the recommendation of the Regional Planning Commission, you would have to vote no on this resolution.
Yes, sir.
Everybody understand where we're at?
Same as we did on the first one.
Recommended against, this resolution that has a motion and a second approves it. If you support the Planning Commission recommendation, you would vote against this resolution. That's where we're at. So now, do we have questions or comments from members of the commission?
Just to clarify, Commissioner Cole, your motion.
Do what?
Just to clarify, with Commissioner Cole.
I think the motion is to approve the resolution. As I understand it, the motion is to approve the resolution.
Can I ask Mr. Timpson something again, please?
Yes.
Okay, you made the comment of, one of the reasons behind this, denial is because, going to commercial zoning, you can put not only certain things on there, but it opens the door for anything pretty much that falls in that category.
That is correct.
That is some of the issues we've been dealing with in the planning commission right now, and we've had a lot of discussion about this. I think as a commission, we're gonna have to somewhere categorize some of this stuff that what is in our zoning regulations, because we are running into this right now. Every month that people are coming in and wanting to rezone something commercial, and we don't have nothing to say that can show what they're wanting to put on there. Mr. Temple says that we can't ask them what they're going to put because I don't know what the word was for that, but anyway, but if we zone it just for C1, C2, or whatever, that opens the door up for anything and everything almost. And that's why we've got to have some kind of control of where we can at least say, okay, like this guy here, my own personal opinion, if you was wanting to put storage buildings on that, I wouldn't have a problem with that. I think that would probably be a great thing, I really do. But zoning it to commercial is going to open it, you could come along later and say, well, maybe I don't want to put storage buildings on, or I want to put something else now, and then that just opened up the whole can of worms again for us. And that's what our issues we're having about right now, is we can't categorize what we want to put in there on these properties, and it's I think it's messing us up in the long run of what we want to do and how we want to do it. And so somehow, I mean, you've heard me ask you, it's not, somehow we got to take steps the watch what we put on these properties rather than just approving anything and everything. I mean, it's just way too much for us. Right now, with everything growing like it is, it's just, I mean, it's way overdone.
Other comments or questions?
Mr. Temple,
Yes.
does our zoning, such as C1, does it contain the proper uses?
Yes, there's a list of allowed uses.
Does this fall within?
Yes, sir,
that
it
proper
does.
use?
Yes. But anything else in that C1 zoning district is also an allowed use.
Then it's legal.
Yes.
It is legal to do that in the C1 zone, whatever the.
Whatever the allowed uses are would be allowed to
But
be
it
built.
sounds as though Mr. Hillard's statement means that we need to revisit the uses in C1.
I know
If
this-
those are not proper.
Over the last few years, I've noticed that, and I agree with you completely. We probably need to have more zoning districts and narrow the usage down in each one of them, and they be appropriately categorized. Right now, we have two commercial zones. We probably need more than that. That is,
So we're just sending our citizens around in circles if we don't.
yeah, yes, sir, I agree with you. I don't disagree at all. But I have to enforce the regs we have today.
But that's what I've been trying to ask in the planning commission.
Well, that's not this fellow's fault.
No, I know.
This guy went by the law.
Yeah.
He filled out his application, came to us.
Well, just like I said, I know he's saying he wants to put storage buildings, and I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I don't have a problem.
But it opens
I
up
go
the
there
door,
and
but
all the time.
the problem, it opens the door for everything. It opens it.
And that's our fault.
And that's
Not
probably
his.
fixed.
It's clearly our fault.
I'll remind you, we have a task force in the county that's working right now on our zoning hillside regulations. And I think in August, there'll be some recommendations concerning the hillside and maybe some on zoning issues, but we're looking at all of these issues at this time. We're bringing it before the planning commission and before the commission. Is that right?
Yes.
Temple?
Yes.
So if this gets voted down to zero, does this gentleman have the right to bring it back at a later time?
Yes, 6 months, take it back to planning commission 6 months from today.
Or is this something that you might have time to officially draw it up now and let us study it? Then maybe consider it later.
I'm sorry, ask that again?
Maybe would it be appropriate for him to rescind this proposal and then instead of it getting voted down, to allow us as a voting membership here to try to rectify the issue?
That would be an option to remove it from the agenda, yes.
If you're wanting to do that, my suggestion is that you table it to the next meeting, if that's what you're wanting to do. A motion to table is always in order and is not debatable, but you can, table it to the next, commission meeting, which will be the third Monday of August.
So, second.
We've got a motion and a second to table, this resolution, which is resolution 2026-0608. Now, I just need to ask our folks back, do I need to have a show of hands or a voice vote, or can we put this on the screen? And you all just tell me. 1 minute, they're looking, so we'll have 1 minute, and then we'll move from there. I think we now have the correct motion on there. This is a non-debatable motion, so Madam Clerk, you proceed to the vote. Now, let me explain what we're voting on before we do that. We are voting on the motion to table this resolution till that will be tabled until the August 17th, I believe it is, meeting of the county commission. So if you vote yes, you're voting to table. No, you'll be voting to consider it tonight. So Madam Clerk is linked to the voting screen. Does anybody have any questions about the vote? Hearing none, commissioners, please cast your votes.
Push it harder.
Okay, very good. Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes to table.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution 2026-0608 has been tabled to the August meeting. Now we'll move to item 17. Consideration of resolution 2026-0609, amending the zoning resolution to Sevier County by establishing rezoning tax map 48, 20.00 from C1 rural commercial district to R1 rural residential, 221 Jones Cove Road, requested by Kimberly Berry in Sevier County Regional Planning Commission recommendation 4. Madam Clerk, would you please bring this resolution to the floor for action? We have a motion and a second to approve it. Now do we have discussion or questions?
This is a unique one. It's a piece of property that was zone C1, I think back in the original zoning maps in 2006. All of the buildings on this are residential houses owned by one family, and they need to, so they want to subdivide it to where each of the family members would own their own lot. But they have trouble getting financing unless it's zoned to R1. So down zoning it from C1 to R1, it's the same use as it is now, but that's an allowed use. But it allows them to get easier financing if it's on residential versus commercial. It's actually being used as residential property, it's not commercial.
Questions from commission concerning this rezoning? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your vote? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution's been properly adopted. We are now on item number 18, consideration of resolution 2026-06-10, approving, recognize, establish, and/or update administrative policies for the operation of county government. Madam Clerk, please bring resolution 2026-06-10 to the floor for any action to be taken. We have a motion and a second. This resolution gives some updates on our travel policy, as I understand it. It's what the basis of this resolution. Every year at this time, we update the handbook based upon court cases and other information that we have. Our HR director, Gary Strickland, leads this, and these travel policy updates are to conform with any court cases or any updates we have from the comptroller's office. Questions or comments concerning this issue? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, please bring the resolution to the floor for action. Proceed to the vote. Commissioners, please cast your votes. Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Resolution's been properly adopted. We're now on item number 19, consideration of resolution 2026-06-11, update to the Superior County Employee Handbook. Madam Clerk, would you please bring that resolution to the floor for action? We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Is there any discussion? Let me say that the Intergovernmental Committee reviewed the changes to the handbook at their last meeting and recommended it to the full commission. Most of these changes is wording, update, as I said, any comptroller's recommendations or any court cases that might come down that concern issues of employees. As I said, every year at this time, we update the handbook to include all of those issues to make sure we're complying with everything. Our HR director updated those, recommended them to the Intergovernmental Committee, and the Intergovernmental Committee recommended those to you. So we have a motion and a second to approve this. Now do we have questions or discussion concerning the update of the Superior County Employee Handbook? All of the items in this handbook was either given to you in a written copy or in GovInda. Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your vote? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Item number 20, consideration of resolution 2026-06-12. Approve the county mayor to purchase designated property for county purposes. Madam Clerk, if you would bring 2026-06-12 to the floor for action. And Mr. McCarty, you want to discuss this resolution?
this resolution approves the county or gives the county mayor the authority to purchase 2 parcels concerning a potential recreation park in Seymour. Commissioner Weaver has helped with some negotiation on a couple of those, on one of the parcels that we have been able to get under control and get under option for us. This would allow us to go through with that and also option the second parcel that we are currently at least negotiating on that potential parcel for this potential recreational park that we're looking at and doing in Seymour and on the west side of Sevier County. Dustin, I don't know if you just want to give like a 30-second kind of the process we went about one of the parcels to take a look at this.
Yeah, just the process they had, there's multiple storage units on it, it's 30 units of storage units, and then the field that the county's actually interested in. So we went to them with an offer. They were listed well over $450,000 what they were initially listed at, and so we came in significantly under that. We ended up negotiating the price at $345,000 was what we ended on. Those rental units are only half occupied right now, and they are rented under market value. So once all 30 of those are rented and we bring the income, I don't know what the county's intentions are with the storage units, but either way, if we were to divide that off and sell it, we would get a large portion of our purchase price back, because that's where most people are going to see the value of the property. So I feel like even if we just kept everything and got it at the price that we got it, I feel like it's a very good opportunity for us.
Again, this is 2 parcels. One parcel we currently have under option. This is a parcel that, again, is around 16.5 acres, contains some storage units on it, and would allow us to move forward at purchasing that. Again, the initial list price I have now was originally $499, and we were able to get that down to $355. And then the other parcel, this would allow us to start negotiating with them on that parcel, and that would give us around 34 acres to take a look at, and then present that further. Intergovernmental and Budget has approved this for us to bring this to you, but what this will allow us to do is by getting this under option, getting these parcels in control of the county, then we'll begin to do further work on what can we, as far as what can we afford, do we phase some of this in, what do we look at long-term costs, things of that nature. We've looked at those preliminary, we discussed those some at our last meeting, but this will allow us to tie up some of this property where we want to make sure we get under our belt before we move forward. So it's been a good process so far, and we think it's a really good opportunity. I appreciate also the conversations with Representative Atchley on some state help and some different things of that nature. So this is an important step of many in order to try to make this a reality for that area and for all of Sevier County.
Questions concerning this resolution? You can see from the resolution it identifies the 2 parcels of property, as well as authorizes the county mayor to expend no more than $1.2 billion on purchase, including surveying and closing costs, and appropriation from general fund reserves designated for capital purchases. So, questions from the commission concerning resolution 2026-06-12?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any questions, but I do want to thank the commission. I had individual conversations with many, if not most of them. Our young people in Seymour, they don't have a community park, they have to go and play inside Knox County. I greatly appreciate the emphasis that's down in our end. Greatly appreciate the county seeing the need and responding to the need.
Other discussion concerning the resolution? Okay. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please proceed to the vote. Commissioners, please cast your vote. Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change your vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Resolution's been properly adopted. We're down to resolution 21, agenda item 21 rather, which is resolution 2026-06-13 to adopt Various amendments to the standard codes relating to inspection activities for Sevier County, Tennessee pursuant to TCA 52101 through 52106A. I'll recognize Mr. Brad Dalton. Mr. Dalton, a brief explanation of what the commission's being requested to do. And I also, this has been reviewed by the Intergovernmental Committee, and they made the recommendation.
Commissioners, so, as you probably well know, the state requires us to stay within 7 years of the latest adopted code edition. We currently have the 2018 ICC adopted, which is the residential code, commercial code. They publish every 3 years, so this August, the 2027 code books will publish, which means it will be in violation if we don't adopt. So we're proposing to adopt the 2024 residential and building codes. It's a big book. It's hard to say. They never seem to get thinner. They always get thicker. But we've been through chapter 3, chapter 4, some of the deck and framing stuff. And if anything, there's not much changes that we can see, especially for residential. So, yeah, that's what this resolution basically is to adopt the code.
Question from the commission. I remind the commission you adopted this one time, and it had to be put in the library and advertised. Citizens could read it, and so that was done. This is the second reading of these amendments to the building code for Sevier County that you've heard. Any questions concerning this? Thank you, Mr. Dalton. Hearing no questions, Madam Clerk, proceed to the vote. Commissioners, cast your vote. Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Resolution has been properly adopted. We're now down to item 22, consideration of resolution 2026-06-14, set speed limits on certain Sevier County roads. You have that resolution in your packet. Madam Clerk, would you please bring that resolution to the floor? Do we have any comments or questions concerning the setting of these speed limits? I'll recognize our highway superintendent, Mr. Donnie Adams, if he has any comments concerning these speed limits. They've been approved, right?
They were approved
By
in
the
transportation.
Committee. Questions from members of the commission? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, please advance to the voting screen. Commissioners, please cast your votes. Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Okay. Now, we're down to item number 23, which is consideration of resolution 2026-06-15, which is to amend the fiscal year 2025-26 budget for the General Fund 101, Fire Protection Fund 111, Law Library Fund 114, Solid Waste Sanitation Fund 116, Opioid Settlement Fund 118, Special Purpose Fund 121, Other Special Revenue Fund 128, Highway Fund 131, School General Purpose Fund 141, School Federal Projects Fund 142, School Cafeteria Fund 143, Debt Service Fund 151, Public Utility Fund 204, and to more accurately reflect revenues and expenses, Madam Clerk, would you please bring that resolution to the floor for action to be taken? Now, do we have comments or discussion? Do we have a motion or a second on the resolution? I believe we do. Do we have comments? What we would need to do for these in the next several, if any of you are county employees, you need to make a statement on the record that you're voting in the interest of your constituents only.
This time I'd like to make that statement. On me work for County Sheriff's Department, what the best interest of my citizens. Mr. Chairman, employed by Superior County government, representing the 5th District and voting on these matters in the best interest of my constituents.
Mr. Chairman, I'm a part-time member of the Superior County Planning Commission. I'll be voting this tonight.
Mr. Chairman, I'm a part-time employee. I will be voting.
Greg Haggard, Superior County School System, voting for the best entrance, District 9.
That concludes that portion of it. Now we're back on item 23, which is resolution amending various funds that we have. Now that we have discussion, this resolution has been reviewed and recommended by the Budget Committee, as well as reviewed and portion that concerns of this education budget has been reviewed by our Education Committee and made a recommendation. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns concerning this resolution, 2026-06-15? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your vote? Would any commissioner like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Now, on item number 24, consideration of resolution 2026-06-16, approve the sale and/or disposal of vehicles and equipment for the fiscal year 2025-26, ending on June 30th, 2026. Madam Clerk, please bring that resolution to the floor for action. We have a motion and a second to approve that. You have a listing of these vehicles in your packet. We do this every year at this time. Most of the vehicles that we have are put on GovEnda, I think, and sold in that manner. So most GovDeals, whatever. GovEnda is actually what your packet's in. A little faux pas, I haven't heard anything. Okay. Any questions? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, cast your votes. Would any commissioner like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
21 yes votes.
Resolution's been properly adopted. Next resolution, Resolution 25, consideration of Resolution 2026-06-17, authorize multiple year lease purchases and maintenance agreement. Madam Clerk, would you please bring Resolution 2026-06-17 to the floor for action? We have a motion and a second. Now that we have discussion, any copier leases that we have or other multi-year leases or maintenance agreement that we have that has to be approved by the commission are included in this resolution. been recommended by the budget committee. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Any commissioner like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Resolution's been properly adopted. Down to resolution number 26, consideration of resolution 2026-06-18 to establish and fix the tax levy in Sevier County, Tennessee for fiscal year 26-27 to begin July the 1st, 2026, including setting the official rate above the certified rate following the reappraisal. Madam Clerk, please bring resolution 2026-06-18 to the floor for action. We have a motion and a second to approve it. As we discussed earlier, this fixes the levy at 87 cents. And we don't know the exact certified rate yet, as there's still hearings going on with the Board of Equalization, and until those hearings are complete, we won't know what that exact rate is, but this is a best estimate of where that's going to fall. We will not know probably till mid-July, because that is going to be, they will be having hearings till mid-July. This sets the tax rate levy in Sevier County at 87 cents. We have questions or comments concerning this resolution.
Mr. Chairman, on the community levy, the same portion as before.
Yes, Commissioner Barton, they are, and I apologize, I don't have that. Does anybody have that? What the breakdown of that? Yeah, it's general fund will be 29.5%. The special purpose fund would be 4 cents. The highway fund would be 0.85%. School fund would be 0.41%, and general debt service would be 0.04 for a total of 8.87 or 87 cents. Thank you, Commissioner Valentine. Other questions concerning the resolution? Madam Clerk, would you please bring the resolution? You've already brought it to the floor. Now would you proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your vote? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. We are down now to number 27 on your agenda, which is consideration of resolution 2026-06-19 to approve an adjustment to Sevier County Water Department rate structure. Madam Clerk, would you please bring resolution 2026-06-19 to the floor for action? We have a motion and a second to approve this resolution, and the question is, who's going to discuss this? This was approved in the Water Committee. He's hid. Is Brent hid? Yeah, he's hid over there. He didn't want us to see.
Yeah, I got over as far as I could.
Yeah, you did. You done a good job of it, Brent.
Part of the problem is, we've not had a rate change since the 2019-2020 fiscal year, and we purchase all of our water, because we're a distribution system. And our providers, which is, one of them is the city of Pigeon Forge, they have went up 15.5% on their rates. Newport Utility has went up 46.4% on their rates. And in the last 4 years, we're having to pay like $500,000 more dollars for water than we were 4 years ago. Also, we put in almost $10 million worth of lines in the last 4 years, and we are paying depreciation on that $10 million worth of line that we put in the ground. So our depreciation went up $277,000, which we're paying almost right at $750,000 a year just for depreciation alone. So that's one of the reasons we need to go in and have a rate change.
And that rate change is in your resolution, and it's a multi-year plan.
Yes, over 5 years.
Over 5 years. And according to the states, you can't be in the red more than 2 years, or they put you on the list.
That's right.
Questions from members of the commission? Okay, no questions, thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. Without objection from the commission, we will roll item number 28 to the August meeting. Anyone have objections? I don't think we're ready to consider that resolution at this time. We'll move that to August meeting. Without objection, we will move that resolution. And we will move then, if there's no objection, we'll move to item number 29, consideration of resolution 2026-0621, which is to appropriate for various funds, offices, divisions, departments, institutions, and agencies of Sevier County, Tennessee for the fiscal year 2026-27, begin July the 1st, 2026. Madam Clerk, please bring resolution 2026-0621 to the floor for action to be taken. We have a motion and a second. Again, this has been recommended by the Budget Committee, and this is part of our yearly budget process, the budget documents that the Commission has to approve. Now, do we have discussion or questions concerning the resolution 2026-0621? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please proceed to the vote. Commissioners, please cast your vote. Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Resolution properly adopted. Item number 30, consideration of resolution 2026-0622, approve official budget documents for Sevier County, Tennessee for the fiscal year 26-27 to begin July 1st, 2026. Madam Clerk, please bring the resolution to the floor for action. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Now, do we have discussion or questions? Again, this has been approved by the Budget Committee, and it is more of the documents that we have to approve concerning the 26-27 fiscal year budget, which begins July 1st. It goes through June 30th of 2027. questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, please proceed to the vote. Commissioners, cast your vote. Would any commissioner like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes, resolution been properly adopted. We're down to item number 31 now. Consideration of resolution 2026-06-23, appropriate funds to various nonprofit organizations within Sevier County and its citizens. The fiscal year 2026-27 to begin July 1st, 2026. Madam Clerk, please bring this resolution to the floor for action to be taken. We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Now do we have discussion or questions concerning the resolution? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, let's proceed to the vote. Commissioners, cast your votes. Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. We are down now to item 32, consideration of resolution 2026-06-24, accept and adopt the Sevier County Hazard Mitigation Plan document. Madam Clerk, please bring that resolution to the floor. We have a motion to second. Now I recognize our EMA Director, Mr. Joe Ayers, to give us a brief discussion of this resolution and the Sevier County Hazard Mitigation Plan document.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commission, tonight we are bringing you a multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan that's been put together along with each of the cities, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Sevier, Warren, Pittman Center. We've also collaborated with many of our utilities and Board of Education to identify projects that would lessen impacts caused by natural disasters and other man-made events. This plan identifies those projects and is a process in being eligible for grant funding through FEMA. So with your all's vote tonight, this would open up opportunities for us to be able to apply for grant funds. The city of Pigeon Forge has actually already applied for a grant there at Walden's Creek to redo some stormwater, and we've also applied for a generator, a portable generator, to assist us during disasters. I've already been in communication with Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, and they have advised those applications are under review, but until FEMA gives us a approved hazard mitigation plan, we can't proceed any further with those applications. But be happy to answer any additional questions.
Any questions from any member of the commission concerning this resolution and the adoption of the Sevier County Hazard Mitigation Plan? I'd like to commend Joe and his staff for the work they've done on this. They've put in a lot of time and effort making this plan, and I think it'll help us. Unfortunately, well, if we ever have a disaster, and hopefully we won't, those things happen, but I think this plan is something that is needed in the county and will help us if we ever do. Comments or questions? Okay, thank you, Joe. Madam Clerk, if you will proceed to the vote. Commissioners, if you would please cast your votes. Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Okay, we are down to item number 33, notaries, Madam Clerk.
83 notaries.
83 notaries. You have a list of those notaries before you. You will move the notaries proposed action, and we have a motion and a second. We do. Now we have discussion or questions of our clerk concerning the numerous notaries that we have. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, cast your vote. Would any commissioner like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, announce the vote, please.
21 yes votes.
21 yes votes. Notaries have been approved. We're down to other business. We have two items left. One is public comment, and we have public comment at the end, and we've got some folks that have requested to speak, which I'm going to recognize them, but before we recognize them, after that is adjournment. That I want to make a few announcements to the commission. One of them is the July commission meeting is as usual canceled. So our next meeting will be August the 17th. There may be a few committee meetings that we have to have in July, especially emergency services as they work with the attorney that has been retained on several planning and zoning issues. So I'll remind you of that. I'll remind you that tomorrow at 2:30 there will be a ribbon cutting at the Gilreath Family Kodak Library of the kiosks that the county clerk is putting in. Also, I will remind you that this Friday here at the courthouse is a celebration of our begins a celebration in Sevier County of our 250th birthday. Angela actually is here and her staff. Angela have worked very hard. This is going to be a family-friendly event. Chris Blue is going to be the entertainer, and we'll have other entertainment as well as all kinds of food and fun for everybody that comes, and then it'll culminate in a fireworks display at the end. So I would encourage you and your family to attend this event and encourage your constituents to attend.
Brad, y'all sign?
That would probably reduce the number of people attending the event, so I don't think so.
I will if you tell me to.
So, but we do want to encourage you to come to that event and attend it and have your people attend it. The next thing is, as a parting gift to the Sevier County Commission and the folks that attend it, we're going to have a new sound system and voting system at the next August commission meeting.
You've already got shared.
I didn't want anybody to really hear what I said, but I want them to hear every word Brian has to say. So, having said that, the only other thing I would have before we get into the folks that have come to speak tonight is to tell you that I want to compliment my staff on a great job putting the budget together, especially Brooke. Does a great job, but it is a team effort, and Brian and Tyler and Andrew, everybody chipped in and did Sonia did a great job in that she keeps everybody in line. Isn't that right, Brooke?
That's right.
But I appreciate them and the job they do. Now, we are down to the final public comment on non-agenda items, and I will begin by recognizing Mr. Bobby Johnson, who is running for state executive committee man. Bobby, if you come to the microphone.
Thank you all for having me here tonight. My name is Bobby Johnson. I'm running for State Executive Committeeman of the Republican Party. And I'd just like to say that I'm running for this position to try to help bring a little bit of common sense back to the GOP in Nashville. I feel like they're lacking that over the last few years. And I'd like for y'all to consider me in this position. I am a county commissioner in my county, Hancock County, been there for 21 years. I'm also the Republican chairman of that county. This is my third term, been part of the Republican Party since 2016. I am very active in my community. If I am elected to this position, I'll be active in the whole district, in State Senate District 8. And I'll be happy to answer any questions if y'all have any.
Questions from members of the commission? No. Thank you. We
Thank you.
appreciate you being here tonight. The next is we have Deborah Bailey from Claiborne County, and she's also running for State Executive Committee person. And recognize Ms. Bailey.
Hello, I'm Deborah Bailey. I'm running for State Executive Committeewoman, Senate District 8. I'm the past chair of Claiborne County Republican Party for 2 terms. Presently, I serve as head sergeant of arms for our National Federation of Republican Women outside of Washington, D.C. My goal is that our voice, our county voices, would be heard at the state GOP. At present, they're not being heard. I went to an SCC meeting about a year ago, and our 2 SCC members for Senate District 8 voted against our young Republicans, our college Republicans, and our federated Republican women from having a voice, just a voice, not a vote, just a voice at our state GOP. Therefore, I feel like the need to run. I humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. Hated y'all had to wait an hour and 45 minutes. We had a long agenda tonight. And I say the same thing to everyone else speaking. Next, we have Ken King, who is concerning the Strict County Fairgrounds.
Yeah, my name is Ken King, and I'm part of the Strict County Fair board there. And we've got a lot of issues going on down there that's not being really addressed, and that's one of the things we're asking is for them to get addressed. Y'all tore the barn down last year, and nothing's been done since then. We are losing sponsorships for the fair because nothing's being done. The barn got tore down last year, but now we're working on the food ministry, and we haven't touched anything with the fairgrounds. So the questions we have to the committee is, what's the ultimate plan for the fairgrounds? We've been told numerous times that it's going to be moved, and we're supposed to be there. The ladies that work in the office down there can't give anybody any answers. And we have a lot of sponsors, a lot of business owners in this county that support this fair that are asking for answers right now, me being one of them. And we can't get nothing from anybody to tell us what's going to happen down there.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Yes, sir.
And I think one of the issues is not, we have a reconstitution committee and it's not met in a while, but it needs to certainly start meeting, and I think that that's on the mind of the commission as well, is what to do about the fair. It's been pretty successful in the last several years, which is a good thing. I think everyone agrees there needs to be some significant improvements made in that area if it's going to continue. So hopefully this committee is going to meet, and let's get some plans and ideas together, and maybe present to the commission concerning the future of the fairground.
All right. Wonder why, I wonder why we've not been meeting.
Well, it seems like every time that the meeting is called by the folks in charge of the fair, they're the ones who call the meeting. Something happens and they either call and say they can't get a quorum, or they call and say they're having to cancel it for various reasons. So I think that's been the issue, that we really need to move forward with having a meeting. And I think we're going to do that. We have, I told staff that we needed to, if we have to step up and do it or call it ourselves, we need to do that.
I've been on it 4 years, I think, and I'm never had it in 4 years.
Chairman, we did, I know I served on the fair board with Commissioner Hill there, and he was the chair of the fair board. We did meet on April 15th, and just met the regular business and elected the officers there, fair board. But he also agreed as well that we need to meet more often, and again, the fairground facilities and things of that sort. I'm a supporter of the fair. I think the fair, for those of us that have grew up in this county, we know and have a lot of great memories of the fair. And so I'm certainly supporting the fairgrounds and having a fair.
Thank you. And at one time, you know, it was very tenuous about the continued existence of it. And the commission got the Economic Development Council. They spearheaded it for several years there, and then now we have these folks that's there. As I said, the last few years it has been successful, but there's obviously major issues that are going to have to be addressed if it's going to stay down there or whatever is going to happen. So hopefully the fair board can meet on a more regular basis and have these discussions, and then the commission can bring this to the commission. Okay, next, we're going to have, we have two more speakers. First is Martha Madigan, speaking concerning the red thing.
Ladies first.
First of all, I want to thank you for listening to us on behalf of my neighbors, because the city is definitely not listening to us. They're bending over backwards to help this developer ruin our community. And y'all are all that we have left to try to stop this thing. And they can't say no to any rezoning. And just because it looks good on paper doesn't mean that it's gonna physically work, and it's not. And y'all have recognized this. And a lot of the people that are gonna be directly affected by this roadway are county residents. So I don't know what the answer is, but we're spending a lot of time, a lot of resources, a lot of emotion trying to stop this thing, but we're talking to thin air. They say they listen, but they don't. All they're doing is watching the clock and see when our 3 minutes is up. But it's not right that they're supporting a developer rather than the people that are paying the taxes in this city and already established residents in this community. And you know darn well that this destruction of this land is going to ruin this section of the county as well as this part of the city. And with the number of units that they plan on completing back there, you're talking about an additional maybe 7,000 cars. So that 2-lane windy road, even if they change the direction of Red Bank and put a traffic light there, it's still gonna be a mess. And we're not safe, and that's our concern. But thank you for trying to help us.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Finally, we have Mr. Corey Jones. Gary, I'm sorry.
Thank you,
I'm
Mayor.
sorry, Gary.
Appreciate that. You're not the first person to do,
I've changed your name here.
you're not the first to do that. Thank you, Martha. You heard her. let me give you some numbers. Well, first of all, it's good to hear that maybe in the next 30, 60 days, the Emergency Service Committee will be active. I know they'll be active, but my good man Tommy Watts is there, and they're gonna be active on this issue. And I'm hoping that when I come back here, August the 17th, there might be some resolution on the screen to vote on related to that. I hope. That's what we hope for. Now, let me give you some numbers real quick. I live on Red Bank Circle, period, been there 33 and a half years about. I'm surrounded by the city. I live in the county, praise the Lord for Sevier County. Sevierville Planning Commission met on May 7th. They voted to allow 223 townhomes and duplexes off Red Bank Road. 223, that doesn't sound so bad. But then, 11 days later, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of Sevierville, they slipped in some extra funding for barge design to do wastewater and water modeling for, guess what? Another 280 apartments. I add that up. You got 503 apartments, duplexes, townhomes. And another phase, 1,500 single-family units. Add that up. That's 2,003 single-family homes. 1,500 single-family, 503 multi. And then the ultimate build-out they wanted boards to consider in their wastewater and water modeling was for 2,500 total units. Let me say that again. 2,500 total units off of Red Bank Road. Remember Red Bank Road? You've been down there lately, one way in, one way out. The county sent them a letter. The city came back in that letter and said, oh, we've studied that, and it's fine. In fact, they say in this letter, the city doesn't require a standalone feasibility study for such development as this. But the review process is structured to ensure compliance with all adopted standards, including emergency management standards, utilities and transportation. Well, guess what? That's what the city said back to you guys. Maybe the standards need to be changed for the city, don't they? Maybe they do. And I think the only way they're going to be changed or questioned, since they won't do it, is that this county brings legal action to stop this development. And get a judge to say, yes, your standards don't meet the health, safety, and welfare of all the people that live up there. And that's going to take a judge, I believe. So I'm pleased, I continue to ask you guys, committee especially, to keep on keeping on. Thanks for hiring that lawyer. I look forward to coming back here on August the 17th and see where we are on that, if not before. My time is up, and I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate what you men do.
Thank you. Okay, I think that concludes our business. Tonight, we have a motion to adjourn. We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning, please rise. Adjourn.
Hour and 54 minutes.